In the gleaming, sterile expanse of Eve's California mansion, wealth was a visible, tangible entity, reflected in every polished surface and bespoke furnishing. Eve, an African-American businesswoman of formidable intelligence and effortless grace, stood at the zenith of her corporate empire. Draped in a silk robe, she projected an aura of quiet power, her caramel skin glowing under the recessed lighting as she meticulously reviewed complex acquisition documents. Her husband, Mark, handsome yet increasingly overshadowed by her success, entered the kitchen. His presence often brought a palpable tension, a subtle friction against the smooth operation of Eve's world. Tonight, that friction was electric. He clutched a glass of whiskey, his expression a mixture of resentment and thinly veiled contempt. When Eve, without looking up, requested his signature on a power of attorney for a new trust, his jaw tightened, the familiar complaint bubbling to the surface. He felt like a mere appendage to her vast accomplishments, a footnote in a story where she was the undisputed author. Eve's sharp retort, reminding him of his seven-figure salary and corner office, only deepened his festering bitterness. As he furiously scrawled his signature, the weight of his envy was almost unbearable. His thoughts were already spiraling, fueled by a whispered phone call with his impeccably dressed, equally resentful in-laws, who bemoaned Eve's tyranny and their perceived dependence on her goodwill. The stage was set not just for a signing, but for a meticulously planned downfall, a chilling permanent solution born from a toxic blend of greed, wounded pride, and a desperate desire for control. Under the cloak of night, the true depths of Mark's calculated malice began to manifest. Clad in dark clothing and gloves, his silhouette was barely distinguishable as he meticulously worked beneath Eve's sleek, black luxury sedan in the silent grandeur of their garage. The metallic snick of a wrench echoed softly in the cavernous space as he expertly located and severed the brake lines, ensuring a delayed and catastrophic failure. Every movement was precise, practiced, devoid of hesitation. He wiped down his tools with chilling thoroughness, replacing them exactly as he'd found them, leaving no trace of his sinister intervention. The illusion of a perfect, opulent life remained undisturbed, the car a dormant metallic predator awaiting its unsuspecting prey. Hours later, the coastal highway shimmered under a moonless sky, the vast, indifferent ocean a dark expanse beside it. Eve, buoyant from a successful business deal, was on a call, her laughter ringing with genuine triumph. Her luxury car glided effortlessly along the winding road, the engine purring with subdued power. As she approached a particularly sharp curve, her foot instinctively pressed the brake pedal. Nothing. Her eyes widened in a flash of disbelief, then horror. She pumped the pedal frantically, but the car hurtled forward, an unstoppable projectile. Her scream was ripped away by the wind as the vehicle, now a runaway coffin, smashed through the guardrail. In agonizing slow motion, the car sailed through the air, a dark metallic bird against the night sky, before plunging into the churning abyss below. Underwater, the wreckage filled rapidly. Eve fought desperately against the confines of her seatbelt, the crushing pressure of the water mirroring the crushing realization of betrayal. With a final surge of adrenaline, she unbuckled, violently expelled from the sinking car, gasping for breath as the powerful current pulled her away from the shore, out into the vast, indifferent Pacific, her cries lost to the waves. Days later, the relentless waves, which had threatened to claim her, instead gently relinquished their grip, depositing a broken body onto the pristine sands of a remote Mexican isle. It was Eve, barely clinging to life, her face a mass of lacerations and severe trauma, her once vibrant presence reduced to a fragile, barely breathing form. The remote solitude of the beach was broken by the quiet footsteps of Dr. Javier Ramirez, a man whose kind, intelligent eyes belied the challenging isolation of his chosen home. A self-taught doctor, he possessed an innate understanding of survival and healing, honed by necessity. Kneeling beside her, his expression shifted from calm observation to immediate, focused concern as he assessed the severity of her injuries. A silent, urgent resolve took hold. He carefully, expertly lifted her, her slight weight a stark contrast to her earlier powerful persona, and carried her towards his humble yet meticulously clean clinic. The operating room, though simple in its setup, was a sanctuary of focused expertise. With rudimentary but expertly modified tools, Dr. Ramirez embarked on a complex facial reconstruction, a dance of precision and unwavering dedication. Weeks blurred into an eternity of unconsciousness, marked only by the gentle hum of the clinic and the constant vigilance of the doctor. When Eve finally awoke, disoriented and adrift, the world was a hazy landscape of soft light and unfamiliar sounds. A small, cracked mirror became the portal to her new reality. The face that stared back was undeniably hers, yet subtly, beautifully altered. The structure was familiar, but the features were refined, a testament to Dr. Ramirez's extraordinary skill. Her body, once robust, was now leaner, stronger, honed by her ordeal. Her caramel skin remained, but her eyes, now a brilliant, intense brown, held a fierce, untamed light. She was stunning, but crucially unrecognizable. The doctor's gentle smile confirmed her survival, a true miracle. Her raspy voice, tinged with a nascent accent, uttered the profound question that echoed her new existence. Who am I? His answer, simple yet profound, sealed her transformation. You are the woman who washed up on my shore. The past is gone. You have a new face, a new life. Months melted into a tapestry of shared purpose and profound connection. Fully recovered, radiant, and intellectually sharper than ever, Eve worked tirelessly alongside Dr. Ramirez. Her prodigious business acumen, once dedicated to a corporate empire, now found new purpose in the rustic clinic. She brought order, efficiency, and visionary thinking to his groundbreaking medical practices. Their bond deepened into a love as profound as it was unexpected, forging a partnership built on mutual respect and shared dreams. Eve, ever the innovator, quickly recognized the revolutionary potential of Javier's unique technique. The way he had manipulated tissue, the cellular regeneration, a perfect, non-invasive facelift that transcended mere reconstruction. This wasn't just a local miracle. It was a global game-changer. With her unwavering conviction, she spearheaded the complex process of patenting the Ramirez regeneration technique, navigating the intricate legal and medical bureaucracies with her characteristic precision. As Javier received his full medical license, their joint venture, Phoenix Aesthetics, rose from the ashes of Eve's past, a testament to their combined genius. Money, now a tool for justice and progress, poured in, solidifying their formidable new empire. Meanwhile, 1,000 miles away in Eve's opulent California home, the walls that once held her success were crumbling for Mark. 6 months after Eve's presumed death, the courts had frozen her substantial assets, leaving Mark, his mother-in-law, and father-in-law increasingly desperate. The illusion of inherited wealth was unraveling, debts mounting, property taxes unpaid. In a reckless scramble for cash, Mark resorted to brazen fraud, forging Eve's signature on loan extensions, asset transfers, even the deed to her Aspen condo. His parents, initially complicit in their greed, now watched with mounting unease as his desperation spiraled into blatant criminality. Mark, convinced Eve was truly dead, believed his actions would remain undiscovered, a temporary solution until the 7-year mark allowed him legal access to the principal. But as his hand trembled while signing yet another forged document, the stark reality of his folly began to cast a long, menacing shadow. The California sun, once a harbinger of betrayal, now shone on a new beginning and a meticulously orchestrated return. A private jet descended onto the runway, its sleek form a symbol of the formidable power Eve now commanded. Stepping out, she was no longer the woman who plunged into the ocean. She was Veronica, an impeccably dressed, strikingly beautiful African-American woman, radiating an untouchable aura of sophistication and steely resolve. By her side, Dr. Ramirez stood as a calm, loving anchor, a silent testament to their shared journey and burgeoning empire. A cold smile played on Veronica's lips as she murmured to him, "The game begins." Weeks later, at an exclusive art gallery fundraiser, Mark, looking tired, slightly desperate, and noticeably older, mingled amongst the elite, a shadow of his former confident self. His financial struggles had begun to wear heavily on him. Then Veronica entered. A vision in a stunning gown, her new appearance was a subtle echo of the old Eve, yet with a dangerous, refined edge that transcended mere beauty. Her presence instantly captivated him, drawing his gaze like a moth to a flame. He approached, his flattery dripping with a practiced charm that now seemed hollow. Introducing herself as Veronica, with a slightly lower voice and a hint of the Spanish accent she had acquired, she skillfully piqued his interest, mentioning her desire to invest in a local firm. Mark, ever the opportunist, eagerly pitched his holding company, oblivious to the trap being laid. The seduction was swift, precise, and utterly ruthless. Mark became utterly infatuated, showering Veronica with lavish gifts, recklessly spending money he no longer truly possessed. Veronica, with the precision of a master chess player, subtly manipulated him, weaving pointed questions about his finances and the mysterious disappearance of his missing wife into their intimate conversations. Mark, blinded by infatuation and his own self-pity, spun a narrative of himself as a grieving victim, unaware that he was revealing every detail Eve needed to know. Soon, Veronica moved into the main house, slowly, deliberately reclaiming the spaces that were once hers, each familiar detail a silent echo of her past, setting the stage for the final, devastating act of her meticulously planned revenge. The opulent master bedroom, once a sanctuary, now became the stage for Mark's ultimate downfall. He was proposing, a massive diamond ring glinting under the soft lamplight, his words a desperate plea for a new beginning. "Veronica, I know it's fast, but you've brought me back to life. Marry me." Veronica, her eyes cold, took the ring. The charade was almost over. With deliberate slowness, she walked to the window, her back to him, and with a dramatic flourish, pulled up the curtain, revealing a large, framed photograph on the wall. A smiling portrait of the original Eve. "Do you recognize her, Mark?" she asked, her voice calm, laced with a chilling familiarity. Confused, then dismissive, Mark brushed it aside as his late wife, Eve. But Veronica slowly turned, her eyes burning with triumph, and walked to a mirror. "Look closer, Mark. Look at the eyes. The skin. The woman you tried to kill." She touched her face, the gesture imbued with a profound, terrifying significance. "The woman whose brakes you cut. The woman who owned everything you desperately wanted." Mark stared, his face draining of all color, the horrifying realization washing over him like a cold tide. His whispered "Eve" was a gasp of pure terror. "Surprise," she delivered, her voice now the hard, unforgiving tone of the old Eve. Suddenly, the front door downstairs burst open. Detectives flooded into the living room, their presence a stark contrast to the luxurious setting. Dr. Ramirez stood calmly by Eve's side, a picture of quiet support. "Mark Sterling, you are under arrest for attempted murder and multiple counts of financial fraud, including forgery and conspiracy," the lead detective stated, his voice resonating with authority. As Mark struggled against the cuffs, shouting that she was dead, Eve calmly produced a stack of forged documents. "I was missing, Mark. And while I was gone, you and your parents broke every law in the book. The police found the evidence of the cut brake lines after I sent them an anonymous tip. The forged signatures were the easy part. His mother-in-law and father-in-law were brought in, also in handcuffs, their faces a picture of utter defeat." Eve, now fully in control, looked at them, her tone measured and final. "No," she corrected her mother-in-law's accusation of being a monster. "I'm just the woman who owned everything. And now I own your freedom." Weeks later, on a beautiful, remote beach in Mexico, Eve and Dr. Ramirez walked hand in hand, finally at peace. The legal proceedings were complete. Mark and his parents were incarcerated. Justice was served. Phoenix aesthetics thrived, heralding a new era of medical innovation. Leaning her head on Javier's shoulder, Eve acknowledged his profound impact. "You saved my life, Javier. And you gave me a new one." They looked out at the vast ocean, the very water that had almost claimed her, but instead delivered her to a destiny of rebirth and triumphant justice.